Clarice spoke, and so the prince and princess lived happily ever after. The children told her, "Lady, read this book next, then let's play hide and seek." Clarice replied, "Okay, no fighting, it's my turn, next is hide and seek." Then someone told them their guardians were here. The children shouted, "Yes, Mummy is here." Then all of them left with their guardians. Clarice thought, "This place was founded by my mother, who became countess after my father passed away. She opened it for children who lost one or both parents. She wanted to reduce the number of kids ending up in orphanages or the slums. That's how it all started. My mother passed away before fulfilling that dream. Now I have taken over the facility. Honestly, the finances are a disaster, but I don't want to let go of her dream. I should get going too, not that anyone is waiting for me to come home." Next scene. The Count, who was Clarice's uncle, said, "We have come to celebrate your birthday today." Annette, who was Clarice's cousin, also said, "I have been waiting forever for you to come back." The Countess, who was Clarice's aunt, spoke, "Were you at that facility again? Eat before it gets cold." Clarice thought, "Birthday. Right, today is my birthday, but still, why just today? They never ate with me before, never even showed the slightest interest. After my mother died, my uncle's family moved in under the pretense of taking care of me and quickly took over the entire estate, stripping me of everything. Since then, they have acted like I don't even exist." The Count spoke, "Today, we have invited a very special guest. He is a special royal envoy. Please, come in." The royal person came in. Clarice thought, "A royal envoy, aren't they direct officials of the king?" Then that person spoke, "I am here to deliver the last will and testament of the late countess. All assets of the nocturnal estate are to be inherited by the legitimate heir, Clarice Nocturnal, including the city of Letzia and its surrounding mines." Clarice thought, "What is going on? My mother's inheritance?" She asked, "Why now?" The royal person replied, "As of today, Lady Clarice has come of age. She is now legally entitled to receive her inheritance as a noble. Please accept it." Clarice thought, "With this inheritance, I could save the facility, get it back on track. I could protect both my mother's dream and the children." Suddenly, the Count said, "Clarice, I will be holding on to that. I have always managed things around here anyway. Dear, have them prepare the paperwork so I can handle it." Clarice replied, "No, this is my mother's inheritance." The royal person told them, "Excuse me. First we need you to receive the inheritance. We will need to go for verification to the palace. It is customary to use a magic stone as proof of acceptance. I believe the Count used the family heirloom magic stone as proof." The Count shouted, "An heirloom? We never heard about it." Clarice replied, "I have it. My mother entrusted it to me." After that, she thought, "It's gone." The Count asked, "Did you lose it? You can't even keep track of one thing. Useless. Just like always, go find it now. If you can't find it, you know what will happen to the facility. If you just sign it, I swear I won't lay a hand on them. It's not like that filthy little facility or those broths would sell for more than a few coins anyway." Clarice thought, "I always knew they were that kind of people, but for just a moment, I let myself hope." Clarice spoke, "You are right. Losing the heirloom was my mistake. I will take full responsibility and find it, but if anything happens to those kids before I do, I will never come back to this house again. I will do my best. With the inheritance, uncle, you can finally pay off your debt to that brothel, and aunt, your outrageous jewelry bills as always." The Count and Countess both shouted at each other, "A brothel, you say? Just how much have you been spending on luxuries?" After that, Clarice remembered that Annette said, "What do you mean we can't get the magic stone back?" The person replied, "Actually, the one who bought it was the Duke of Vanderlick." Clarice thought, "I followed Annette since she was acting suspicious, and I was right. I can't believe she sold it to a merchant just for some allowance money. The Duke of Vanderlick, trying to retrieve something from that ruthless Duke is probably hopeless, but still, for everyone's sake, I have to get it back." Next scene. The Duke's aide spoke, "I am terribly sorry. As expected, they have refused to return the magic stone." Clarice replied, "What? At least allow us to discuss it." The aide told her, "Please leave, I will see you out." Clarice thought, "I knew it would not be easy to get it back. I will have to think of another way, but still, the estate feels oddly quiet. I have not seen a single servant. Something is not right." A baby cried, and she felt cursed magic power. "This is bad. Something is happening. The House of Vanderlick, they would even use a child as a pawn if it meant winning. No way." The aide told her, "Stop, you must not go in there." Clarice thought, "What is this room? So this is the baby who's crying. That is our family heirloom magic stone. Why is it here?" The Duke asked, "Who are you?" Clarice thought, "I feel a chill going down my spine. Don't tell me. This is the master of this estate, the infamous Duke." The next moment, she thought she heard a rattle. The Duke asked, "The baby is not crying anymore. Who are you?" Clarice introduced herself and said, "I came to speak with your grace about a matter of great importance." But then she suddenly felt an immense surge of magic. The Duke asked, "How did you get him to stop crying?" Clarice thought, "When did he even stop, and when did he grab my hand?" She then said, "Maybe he just cried himself to sleep." The Duke told her, "Come with me. We need to talk." Clarice replied, "Yes, understood." She thought, "Wait, come to think of it, that sinister magic I felt earlier, when did it disappear?" After that, Clarice asked, "That child?" The Duke replied, "He is my adopted son." Clarice thought, "His son? Really? I did some digging before I came. The Duke is supposed to be single. I don't believe every bad rumor about him, but if he is planning to use that child for something." The next moment, the aide told him, "The child is crying again. What do I do?" The Duke tried to entertain the child, but that was not going to happen. Clarice thought, "He does not trust him at all." Then she asked, "How about holding him?" The Duke asked, "Like this?" Clarice replied, "No, not like that. Please wait, don't just grab him like that, do it like this." The Duke said, "You know a lot." Clarice thought, "He's holding my finger, so cute." Then she said, "I run a care facility for children, this should do it." He's calmed down now. Theodore looked at the Duke, then started crying again. Clarice thought, "This cursed magic, it's the same as before, but where is it coming from? Don't tell me. The baby is the source of all that magic. It's a force one is born with in their body, and when that power runs dry, the body dies." Clarice shouted, "Your Grace, at this rate, the baby." The Duke replied, "Try calming him down again. He releases magic when he cries, but earlier, you managed to get him to stop." Clarice told him, "Please don't just hand him to me like that." Then she thought, "Such overwhelming magic, it is dangerous to keep releasing this much. I may not have any special powers, but I can at least try to soothe him." She said softly, "It's okay now, you don't have to cry anymore." Theo started smiling. The Duke commented, "It really worked." Clarice thought, "What was that?" "My heart." Suddenly, the Duke explained, "He only has about 3 months to live. I could not believe it at first, but it seems you really do have the gift to soothe him. At this rate, time is running too short. Take care of him for 3 months, and in that time, I will find a way to save him. If I recall, you came here asking for the magic stone we purchased. I will offer it as payment." That stone was originally bought to help with Theo's condition. Clarice thought, "So that's why, back then." The Duke continued, "I will have a contract prepared. We will discuss the details then. In addition to the magic stone, I will provide a salary. If there is anything else you wish, include it." Clarice thought, "If I can manage to keep him calm, then this child has a chance to live. The responsibility is heavy, but still, I can't just walk away and leave him to die." Clarice replied, "Understood. I accept your contract, but I have one more condition. Please protect my mother's facility and the children who live there. With your influence, your grace, I beg you." The Duke stated, "Very well." Clarice said, "Thank you, then I will sign." The aide whispered, "This is the perfect chance. Why not marry her and make her the Duchess?" The Duke asked, "What nonsense are you?" Clarice also said, "That is out of the question." The aide thought, he got rejected. Clarice continued, "I'm just not really thinking about things like that right now." Theo spoke, "Mama." The 3 of them were shocked. "What?" He just said Mama. Clarice said, "You are quite the talker." The Duke told her, "That is the first time I have heard it." Clarice continued, "But babies often babble nonsense." She thought, it probably does not mean anything special. The Duke asked, "Are you saying my adopted child is an idiot?" The aide spoke, "Just earlier, did Lord Theo use healing magic on you?" Lord Theo's mother could use healing magic. I thought perhaps there was some confusion because of that. Clarice replied, "I can't use magic." She thought, healing magic is considered especially difficult to use. Only a handful of people in the entire kingdom can perform it. She continued, "There is no way someone like me, who can't even use basic magic, could manage something that advanced." The Duke asked, "You can't use magic? Then I will need to investigate what kind of magical reaction that was when you calmed Theo down." I will need you to cooperate for a while so we can run some tests. After that, the aide spoke. This is Lord Theo's room. His assigned nurse became unwell from being exposed to his magic. It may take some time for her to recover. Until then, Lord Albert, who has some resistance, was caring for him. It seems you are also unaffected by Lord Theo's magic. We will need to look into that as well. Next scene. Clarice thought. Apparently the reason the mansion had so few staff was to avoid the effects of Lord Theo's magic. But I have heard people will gradually start returning now. I will need to do my best looking after Lord Theo too. By the way, I need to write a letter to the kids at the daycare. To all the children, I am so sorry for having to leave so suddenly, but don't worry about the facility. His Highness has promised to protect you all until I return. She thought. I'm sure everyone was happy and shocked. So you're up, I will go grab a change of clothes. After that, Clarice spoke. Lord Theo, sorry to keep you waiting. Then she asked, who are you? Wait, where are you taking Lord Theo? Magic. No way, is this child really? Theo started crying. Eric thought. The magic wore off. Clarice shouted, watch out. Got you, just hang on a bit longer. She thought, no, don't fall. Theo looked at her. The next moment, the magic came back, and they landed safely on the ground. Eric thought, did the magic get cut off for a second? Why? Clarice asked, are you okay? Are you hurt anywhere? Eric replied, yes, I'm okay. Clarice told him, I'm glad, but still, you must never climb and then jump out from the second floor again. It's too dangerous, understand? Theo started crying again. Clarice spoke, come here. I am this child's caretaker. Eric replied, we have had so many caretakers come and go, and every time, Theo just gets worse. You will be no different. Clarice thought, was he trying to protect Lord Theo? The aide came and said, I heard a loud noise and came to check. I am so relieved you were both safe. I thought my heart was going to stop. Clarice replied, I am so sorry. As you can see, we are not hurt. Oh no, blood. And don't worry, it will heal on its own. She thought, thanks to the daycare kids, I am used to scrapes like this. Eric shouted, of course it is. Even tiny wounds can get infected and kill you. I read that in a book. The proper first aid is to rinse the wound with clean water, and then apply pressure to stop the bleeding. Clarice thought, is this healing magic? Didn't they say Lord Theo's mother could use healing magic? So this child really is the Grand Duke, so cute. She said, you are still so small, but you can already use such a hard healing spell. That is amazing. Eric replied, I can do only a little one. I'm not like mother, and he ran away. The aide told her, it has been a while since I have seen Lord Eric make a face like that. Clarice asked, is he Lord Theo's brother? The aide replied, yes, we were actually planning to have you two meet when Lord Eric returned tomorrow, but he seems to have arrived earlier than expected. I did not have time to do anything. Clarice spoke, he must really care about his little brother. The aide explained, he does. Lord Eric is a very loving person when it comes to family. After that, Clarice thought, I would like to get along with him too if I can, but he has been staring at me this whole time. Isn't he getting closer? If I try to talk to him, he will run, so I just need to focus on my usual duties for now. She said, okay, Lord, it's time for dinner. Today we have carrots and… Suddenly Eric came. Clarice asked, what are you? Eric replied, taste testing. It's not like I trust you or anything. It's good. Clarice spoke, well, if it's good, that's all that matters. Eric shouted, trying to win me over with food like this. I know you're suspicious, just watch. Clarice thought, do I really seem that shady? A few days later, Eric thought, there has to be something she is hiding. I have to protect Theo. From that woman and from the Duke. What the hell is going on? Eric shouted, get away from His Highness. You have finally shown your true colors. Using Theo to gain his favor. The only reason you are doing that is to deceive the Duke. His Highness might be able to be deceived, but I won't. The Duke stated, don't you use that magic so carelessly. Eric replied, sorry, but… Clarice explained, I think there might have been a misunderstanding. The Duke only came to check on Theo, who is bathing, but he got soaked in hot water, so I only tried to wipe the water off of him. The Duke told her, don't misunderstand so easily, and even if this woman actually intended to do that, I will never be swayed. This one also does not have it in her to do that. Clarice spoke, of course, she thought, I indeed did not have the intention of doing that, but hearing those words makes me feel like I've been dumped. The Duke stated, I have no intention of ever marrying. I remember telling you that is the reason I adopted you guys. It is good that you are trying to protect Theo, but you don't have to worry about anything else. Eric replied, I am sorry. The Duke continued, I will go get change. Clarice, I leave the rest to you. Clarice thought, this is so awkward. Eric said, sorry for saying such weird things. I will also get back to. Clarice told him, he is still in the bath, and it is hard to take care of him alone. If you want, you can please help out. Eric replied, okay. Then he asked, like this? Clarice said, yes, you have to wipe this part properly. Eric spoke, wow, he is refreshed. After that, Clarice said, he seems happy, having his brother do it for him. Lord Theo sure likes his older brother. Eric asked, you think so? Clarice replied, yes, when the Duke tried it, he was crying a lot. Eric asked, you are the Count's daughter. How are you so used to taking care of a baby? Clarice replied, I manage a shelter for children. I take care of children who have no parents or children with single parents. Eric asked, so you are saying that we are one of those children? Clarice replied, that would be right. Taking care of you guys is not that different after all. Then she thought, maybe he didn't like it. She said, I am sorry. Eric asked, is that shelter far from here? Clarice replied, you are going to have to take a carriage. It is in our territory. Eric stated, then if I get permission from His Highness, I want to go there someday. Clarice was so excited, please come. I bet all of them would be happy. Eric told her, there is no special meaning behind it. Providing support for them is just the duty of a noble. Clarice thought, I wonder what would happen, but I am glad to get along with Lord Eric. A few days later, Clarice thought, Sir Theo was in a good mood today. I think I will be able to give a good report. Wait, what is happening there? A person shouted, stop messing around, you hear me? At this rate, you are going to be unfit to succeed the Duke. The person continued shouting, you are afraid of a sword, don't you have any pride as an heir? If you keep on doing this, you will lose whatever is important to you once again. If you don't want that to happen, then, Eric ran away. After that, the Duke asked, what are you doing? Clarice replied, you see, Lord Eric was practicing his swordsmanship, but then, his instructor. The Duke told her, you are supposed to be Theo's caretaker, so don't interfere with anything related to Eric. Clarice spoke, I deeply apologize. The Duke continued, it is about time you report on your duties. Come with me. I will listen to you in my office. Clarice thought, Lord Eric, will he be all right? After that, the aide spoke, I heard it from the lady, but please, you need to work on expressing yourself a bit more. The lady did not seem happy about it. The Duke replied, I am still not used to my ordinary life outside the battlefield, especially dealing with women. The aide commented, I understand how you are feeling, but that does not mean you can let her get away like that. What are these? The Duke replied, the documents of our duty report. The aide said, are these the reports of Lord Theo's magic output? Wow. The numbers of outputs, the time and date, even the changes in physical conditions. Everything is meticulously detailed. This is amazing. That is a significant decrease. It seems that woman might be able to break the Grand Ducal family curse after all. The Duke told him, we should not rush things, it is still just a possibility. On the other hand, Clarice thought, is Lord Eric all right? Although I am the caretaker of Lord Theo, I can't help the fact that I am worried about him. For now, I need to research my magic for Lord Theo's sake. The next moment, she asked, Lord Eric, was there healing magic and medical books? No way. Are you learning these all by yourself? Eric replied, no, I am not. Clarice continued, isn't that amazing? You know, I was secretly studying by myself too, but I could not get as far as you. My sister-in-law took it away from me. She said my education was a waste of money. Clarice thought, we are just the same. God, I thought he would be down, but it seems like he is doing okay. She said, can I sit beside you? I would like to talk. Eric, while running away, said, why would I ever want to study with someone like you? Next scene. The aide spoke, I see, so that is what happened. Clarice asked, why does Lord Eric study by himself? Doesn't he have any teacher for him? The aide replied, well, it is because healing magic and medicine are not necessary for him to become the next Grand Duke. He should focus on improving his swordsmanship right now, without any unnecessary distractions. Clarice told him, I think that kind of teaching will just backfire. The aide told her, ever since the death of his parents, Lord Eric has developed a hatred for swords, and His Highness is also worried about this. Clarice asked, his parents? The aide explained, "You did not know about this. The two of them are the orphaned children of the Grand Duke's older brother. After his older brother passed away, His Highness inherited the Grand Duke title and took in the two brothers." Clarice thought, it was true after all, those children are adopted, just like me. After that, the instructor shouted again, "Seriously, get a hold of yourself. I can't believe you are bringing something like this to training." Eric told him, "Give it back, that is my study note." The instructor shouted, "That is why you are so weak. I will get rid of notebooks like this. At this rate, you will be disqualified as the successor. You should pay attention to what I am saying." Clarice came and stated, "Quiet, you are the one who will be disqualified." Clarice continued, "Please stop, you are the unfit one here." The instructor asked, "Who even are you?" Clarice replied, "A servant." The instructor shouted, "Do you know who I am? I am Lord Eric's tutor." Clarice asked, "Can you even understand what is written here? Lord Eric is a brilliant child. At this age, he can even use healing magic, said to be the most difficult kind. If there are any problems, they are probably because he is still a child, isn't covering for that an adult's role." The instructor shouted, "So what? I mean, what are you trying to say? Are you saying there is a problem with my tutoring?" Clarice replied, "I apologize for my boldness, but just yelling non-stop and not even trying to understand the situation is questionable." The instructor shouted, "Shut up, what would a woman know?" Clarice thought, "It doesn't hurt. The Duke, why is he here?" The Duke stated, "I personally hired this woman as Theo's caretaker. What exactly were you planning to do with my woman?" The instructor thought, "The Duke's woman." Clarice thought, "Why say it like that?" The instructor replied, "I had no idea. Please accept my deepest apologies. Still, if she is Lord Theo's caretaker, wouldn't that make her behavior even more improper?" Clarice spoke, "Sorry, my lord," Eric tried to say, "She was just trying to." The Duke spoke, "Still, that does not give you the right to raise your hand against what is mine. As of today, I dismiss you as Eric's swordsmanship tutor." The instructor told him, "Please wait a moment, isn't that too?" The Duke stated, "You committed two crimes. First, you tried to hurt an unarmed woman despite being a knight. Second, you were suspected of insulting my house. You went around telling lies about my brother and even embezzled Eric's tutoring funds. Until now, you deceived my gentle brother and got the position of tutor, but that won't work on me. Just like Clarice said, you are unfit as a tutor. From now on, I will take care of your tutoring, is that fine?" Eric replied, "Yes." The Duke continued, "I was so focused on Theo that I ended up neglecting you. I will be more careful from now on. I am sorry. Thanks to you, I realized it." Clarice thought, "It can't be. Did he hear what I said then and look into it? Was I too worked up and crossed a line?" A few days later, Clarice thought, since then, just like he said, the Duke started personally tutoring Lord Eric. The sword tutor left the mansion soon after. Clarice spoke, "Still, I was really shocked. I was not expecting the Duke to apologize." The aide told her, ever since the previous Duke, his brother, passed away, he has been quite literally overwhelmed with the duties of his new role. Until now, he spent his whole life on the battlefield. "I really appreciate what you did for Lord Theo." "Me too." Clarice thought, "I never knew being depended on could make me feel this happy. It's been years since I felt like this." Theo woke up and looked at Clarice while she was smiling. Theo felt happy too. The flowers that were about to fall to the ground suddenly glowed again. Clarice thought, "What is this?" After that, the Duke asked, "So I was called over for an emergency, and what is all this?" Clarice replied, "Your Highness, it is serious." The Duke told her, "Anyway, explain what happened in detail." After listening to the details, the Duke asked, "So you are saying this destruction in the garden was caused by Theo?" The aide commented, "For flowers to bloom like this, it is likely some kind of life-based magic." The Duke replied, "For a child this young to use magic at all, that is normally impossible. Can he do it again?" Clarice spoke, "I am not sure, but it looked like the magic activated when Lord Theo smiled, so if we can get him to smile again." Theo started crying again. The aide told them, "It seems Lord Theo is still scared of your Grace's face." Clarice said, "Then please, Your Grace, try smiling." The Duke asked, "Why me?" Clarice explained, "You are large, Theo's adoptive father. It should work far better than a mere caretaker like me." The Duke asked, "Like this?" Clarice replied, "Why are you glaring?" The Duke said, "He's crying even harder." The aide told her, "Lady, His Grace is serious about this, even I have never seen him smile before. Clarice stated, excuse me, this is how you smile, and then just soften the eyes a little more, like this, that's perfect, see, you can do it if you try. The Duke thought, she's not scared of me. Clarice thought, why is he so close? She said, I'm sorry. But the next moment, Theo started smiling, and the flowers began blooming. Clarice asked, did you see that? When your Grace smiles, he's happy, he's such a cute little baby. After some time, Eric asked, have you found out anything more about Theo's magic? Clarice replied, according to Lord Rusty, Lord Theo seems to have activated a magic that releases mana when crying, and a magic that absorbs mana. Eric explained, so, that means Theo is actually in a dangerous state. Clarice asked, you figured that out just from the explanation. Eric continued, mana is a life energy, that is why magic, an act that consumes life force, can only be used by a rare few with abundant mana. If you overuse magic, your mana dries up, then you die. But Theo's activation triggers are crying and smiling, things he does unconsciously. For an unstable baby, that is incredibly dangerous. Clarice stated, amazing, Lord Eric, you are a genius. Eric replied, quiet. Stop acting like you know everything. Clarice thought, he ran off again. Then in the afternoon, Clarice thought, what is with that woman? She acts way too familiar just because she is the caretaker. She even held my hand, and all she ever talks about is Theo and his Grace, like it's the happiest thing in the world. That voice, is that his Grace? What is he doing in Theo's room? He saw all of them happy. The next moment, Eric ran away. Next scene, Eric was thinking about the scene he saw. Suddenly, he heard the voice of Clarice and said, I am sorry, I will wipe it up right away. Clarice told him, it is fine. Eric spoke, sorry, I have to go now, it is time for my sword training. Clarice replied, okay, take care. Then she thought, he has been acting a little strange lately, I wonder if something happened. Whenever he trains with the Duke, he always looks like he is in pain. I hope he is okay. After that, Clarice thought, I am here. Theo was sleeping, and Lord Eric, thank goodness, looked fine. Looks like I was just overthinking it. I better get back before anyone sees me. The Duke told him, next, use a real sword, the blade's been blunted. Eric was shocked and remembered his parents' murder scene. He was trembling with fear. Clarice asked, Lord, are you hurt? What happened? The Duke said, why are you here? Clarice replied, I was worried about Lord Eric. The Duke continued, I told you not to interfere with Eric's training. Clarice spoke, Theo will get worried if Lord Eric looks unwell. The Duke commented, that is a good point. Clarice said, what happened? The Duke replied, I heard he was scolded by the instructor for not being able to wield a real sword. I told him there was no need to force it, and now look at this. Eric spoke, I am sorry. The Duke continued, I told you before, you don't have to be the one to wield the sword. Eric thought. The instructor continuously tells me, if you can't even hold a sword, you are not fit to be the heir. Eric spoke, I can do it, please, just one more time. Clarice said, Your Grace, are you planning to give up on Lord Eric? That is not true, right? She thought, I still don't know his Grace very well, but he always tries his best to smile, and someone like that would not abandon a child so easily. The Duke asked, give up on him, what are you talking about? Eric shouted, because I became your adopted son to help settle all the chaos after father and the others died, and the lordship changed hands. Theo could fulfill that role just as well. You are saying I don't have to wield a sword, that someone else can be the one to carry it, isn't that what you mean? The Duke stated, you are sharp, you really do resemble my older brother, don't get the wrong idea. Whether or not you can wield a sword has never mattered to me from the start. I never expected you to have any skill with a sword anyway. My brother, he could not even properly swing a ceremonial sword. My brother was an excellent lord, but he had no talent with a sword. That is why I honed my own skills and stood on the battlefield in his place. If I could die serving my brother in the Duke's house, I thought that would not be so bad. Clarice thought, could it be that man too, just like me, someone abandoned by the one they loved most? The Duke continued explaining, I never thought I would end up being the one cast aside. Eric asked, do you hate me, Your Grace? The Duke said, why would you think that? Eric replied, because I remember my parents, I must be hard to deal with, so it is more convenient for you to tame baby Theo and make him your heir instead. The Duke told him, "Don't be so ridiculous." Clarice spoke, "That is not true. There is no way His Grace could do something so delicate. When it comes to childcare, he is hopeless. Tame a baby. He makes Theo cry every time they lock eyes, and look, he is making Lord Eric like this too. There is no way someone like him could actually control a child." The Duke told him, "You have a gift for magic. Focus on that. You have Theo. What one lacks, the other can make up for. That is what brothers are for." Eric replied, "Yes." After some time, Clarice thought, "Thank goodness. He looks so much better now." Eric asked, "But about Theo's birthday, for a birthday present, what do you think he would like?" Clarice asked, "Lord Theo's birthday, when is it?" Eric replied, "Next week." Clarice thought, "Really, next week?" Clarice asked, "Then does that mean there is going to be a birthday party for him?" Eric replied, "Nobody said anything about it." Clarice thought, "For nobles, a child's birthday party is a special event. It is also an opportunity to show off, but there are no plans at all." She said, "I will go find out right away." After that, Clarice spoke, "No luck." Eric replied, "I knew it." Clarice told him, "The Duke said Theo's condition is not stable enough to be throwing a carefree birthday party, and we still don't know anything about your magic either." Eric commented, "I see, so we are not allowed to celebrate." Clarice thought, besides Theo's condition, there seemed to be some other reason too, but he would not tell me exactly what. Eric asked, "What is wrong with Theo?" Clarice told him, "He saw you looking sad, so he got worried, it seems." Eric spoke, "Don't do this, my little brother." The next day, Clarice emphasized, "Over here, what should we play next?" She thought, "Well, of course he is sulking. Ever since His Grace said we would not be celebrating, Lord Eric started avoiding Theo." She said, "It is okay. Your brother is going, so he did not want to show you a sad face." Clarice thought, "Even if it is not a noble-style party, I wish we could at least do something on the day of his birthday." The Duke asked, "What is it?" Clarice said, "Are you heading out?" The aide replied, "There was a small issue at the trading company." Clarice asked, "Your Grace, please, won't you allow us to celebrate Lord Theo's birthday? I understand this is not the time to celebrate. But I never want these children to know the pain of being forgotten on their birthday, so please, at least let us do something small, just us." The Duke replied, "Do as you please, but absolutely do not let it slip." Clarice said, "Yes, sir." The three of them were very happy now. After that, both of them said, "Happy birthday, Theo." Lord Theo was also blushing. Clarice told him, "This is my present for you, your favorite apple cake." Eric said, "From now on, instead of a gift, this is a toy I cherished when I was little. It got torn, but I did my best to fix it." Clarice asked, "So that is why you were holed up in your home?" Eric replied, "Yes, it was not going too well for a while. Happy birthday, Theo. It is not much, but will you accept it as a piece of me?" Theo was very happy for that gift. Eric asked, "For me, thank you." The Duke and aide were crossing that room. When the Duke saw that in the room, all of them were enjoying themselves, the aide asked, "Don't tell me, you want to join in?" The Duke replied, "No, that kind of thing just is not for me." Next scene. Theo was crying. The Duke used the magic stone of Clarice's family. Theo stopped crying. Clarice said, "It worked." The Duke replied, "Yes." Clarice thought, "A few days after Lord Theo's birthday, after digging into my research, I realized the dark magic Theo emits shares the same properties as the ducal family's unique magic. And at the same time, I realized it might be a unique magic of its own, including my own magic that calmed Theo down." Unique magic refers to a special type of magic that only those from long-established noble bloodlines can wield. I had heard that the nocturnal family possesses their own unique magic too. But I can't even use regular magic, so I just assumed I would never be able to use unique magic either. The Duke spoke, "The magic stone used to be a nocturnal family heirloom, as I thought. I won't be able to return it just yet." Clarice replied, "As agreed, there is no issue as long as you return it once the contract ends." She thought, magic stones generally resonate with the user's unique magical energy. "That is why I hoped this one might work in my place," she said. "It looks like the experiment was a success." The Duke told her, however, "It does not seem like it can be used repeatedly. Its color changes the more it is used, but it does buy us a little more time." The aide came and told them, "Excuse me, Lord Theo's personal nanny has returned, so I would like to introduce her." Maria spoke, "My name is Maria. I served with the knights, but I will now be caring for Lord Theo as his nanny. I will be supporting you from now on, Lady Clarice. The aide told her, apparently, Maria once served as Lord Theo's mother's maid and bodyguard, and comes from a distinguished family of knights. She is also naturally resistant to magic, which is why she is deemed safe to care for Theo now. Clarice replied, I look forward to working with you. The Duke told her, now that Theo has his nanny back and we have the magic stone, you will finally be able to take a little time for yourself. Up until now, day and night, you have been taking care of Theo non-stop, Clarice said. Your Grace, on that note, I have a small request. The next day, Clarice thought, thanks to Maria, I was finally able to leave the estate. I decided to return to my territory for a specific reason. I need to thank Lord Eric too. Then she remembered Eric asking, you are going back to your territory? Clarice replied, yes. I want to research the nocturnal family's unique magic. I believe it could help Lord Theo. Eric told her, then take this, it is a charm. Don't get the wrong idea, if anything happened to you, Theo would go into shock. The aide asked, is that Lord Eric's magic stone? It matches mine. His Grace gave it to me. It belonged to the previous generation. Clarice thought, Lord Rusty really is trusted by His Grace. A magic stone is a special kind of crystal that appears the moment someone uses magic for the first time. It is also treated as a family heirloom. That is why magic stones are so treasured. Giving one to someone is a symbol of deep trust and protection. So this means he acknowledges me as a trustworthy caretaker. I am so happy. Now that I think about it, that was the first time I ever used magic, and yet no magic stone appeared. Could it be that I used unique magic before without realizing it? After that, the children were so happy that Lady Clarice came. They said, we missed you. Are you done with work? Clarice replied, were you all being good? I am sorry. I am actually still working. The children said, then we will play with that big brother instead. Let's go. After some time, Clarice thought, after father passed, I heard mother moved all the important documents and records to the estate office. Could you check for anything about unique magic? The maid replied, understood. Still, I never thought I would be working for the ducal family, but I am relieved to see you looking so well, my lady. Clarice commented, yes, you children are all so sweet. I still don't fully understand what His Grace is thinking, but he does not seem like a bad person. The maid emphasized, my lady, please leave estate matters to us. We have been receiving support, so things are even better than before. Besides, both you and your late mother saved us, so now all that is left is for you to find happiness. That is all we want for you. Next scene, Clarice thought, I think I was happy even while I was living here, but it must not have looked that way to others. What is happiness, really? On the other hand, the knights told her, unauthorized individuals are not allowed past this point. Annette asked, do you even know who I am? Then she said, there you are, my dear cousin. Clarice stated, I don't recall inviting you, leave now. Annette continued, I am Annette Nocturnal, the younger sister of Clarice, the owner of this facility, and also my sister-in-law. Clarice stated, I never invited you here, go home. Annette thought, what the heck, acting all high and mighty just because you are my sister-in-law. You have no idea who you have been sucking up to. You think having a few guards around like that is going to change anything. Suddenly, she hugged her and spoke, I came because I was worried about you. They said you went looking for the family heirloom. Clarice replied, I did, but only under the condition that I work in this house. We made a contract to retrieve that heirloom with His Grace, Duke van der Lijk. Annette commented, I see, I never expected the family heirloom would end up in the hands of His Grace. Clarice spoke, stop pretending. I know you are the one who sold it to the merchant. Annette emphasized, you are so cruel, sister. You are the one who lost the heirloom in the first place, and now you are putting all the blame on me. The guards were looking at her with suspicious gazes. Clarice thought, so that's how it is. She came back to steal something valuable from me again. Those elders are trying to snatch away my position and wealth in broad daylight. But Annette is different. She takes what belongs to me like plucking petals off a flower one by one. This is the book I lent Annette yesterday. She stirred up hatred from the teachers. My fiancé said, I am disappointed you bullied her behind my back. Look, these bruises are the proof. Clarice thought, to win over my kind-hearted fiancé, she even went as far as hurting herself on purpose. Clarice told them, she did not do wrong, so don't blame her. Clarice thought, by the time I realized it was all Annette's act, it was already too late. No one believed me anymore. That is why I ran to this place, my mother's inheritance. I had never even set foot in this facility before. This is a protective charm for me. This is what Lord Eric said. After my mother died, there was no one left to care about me. No one was waiting for me to return. That is why, back then, I truly felt happy, even if it was only for a moment. Now I have got Lord Eric's trust. I can't let her do whatever she wants. Clarice stated, go ahead and blame me if that is what you want, but until that contract is fulfilled, the heirloom won't be returned, no matter what you try. Annette said, wait, sister, I think you are misunderstanding something. Suddenly, she grabbed her from behind. Clarice told her, that hurts. What are you doing? Annette asked. This is a magic stone. Don't tell me this is the family heirloom too. You are so stingy. If there is still an heirloom left, why don't we just split it? Don't worry, we will handle the money matters. You just do whatever the contract says. Clarice slapped her. Then she said, the magic stone is not our family heirloom. Annette asked, then why are you wearing it? Clarice replied, it is something precious to me. Don't touch it with your filthy hands. Annette shouted, what do you mean, acting cool like that when you are just my sister-in-law? You are just an inferior noble who can't even use magic. Clarice thought, this is bad. If this keeps up, it is not just me, but this whole facility will be in danger. Suddenly, the magic stone reacted. Annette got hit by the magic from the magic stone. Clarice thought, that magic stone. So that's how it is. You are the one protecting me. Annette thought, so that really is a high-quality magic stone, she said. In that case, Clarice asked, where is your attack? The next moment, she was shocked. The little boy was trembling with fear. Annette shouted, you should learn the consequences when you dare fight with me. Clarice also shouted, get out of the way. She was trying to protect him. Suddenly, Clarice thought, this is a protective spell. Annette said, what, my magic got blocked. The aide came and asked, are you all right? Clarice said, was this you, so you can actually use magic? The aide replied, I am not very good at attacking, but I am pretty capable of using defense magic. Know that as long as this magic stone is with you, nothing bad will happen to you, and I did not expect you to go as far as attacking a child. Annette shouted, don't get cocky just because you blocked it once. Don't waste my time. Clarice thought, he blocked it again. Even the best instructor can't beat Annette's magic, she said. You are stronger than I thought. The aide whispered, this is a secret, so don't tell anyone. Officially, I am just a regular secretary. Clarice thought, so that means he is hiding his abilities to deal with emergencies if something happens to his grace. She asked, is it okay for you to be here? The aide replied, yes, my duty is to protect what Lord wants to protect. Clarice's thought protecting me, that's right, if anything happened to me, Theo would be in trouble. Annette was still talking, there is no way my magic would not work. The aide stated, so you are Lady Annette, do you know what this is? Annette replied, that, it's the same as my sister-in-law's. The aide stated, this magic stone was a gift from Duke Vanderlik, as a young noble. You know what that means, don't you? Going against us means going against the Duke's household. If you want to continue, be prepared to risk your life. You little brat. Annette ran away. The aide told her, don't worry, it looks like she won't be coming back here again. Clarice replied, I see, thank you. She thought, once I return, I must thank His Grace and Lord Eric. I wonder if they're doing all right. On the other hand, a person said, listen to me, if you want to protect the hostages, you will meet all of my demands. Don't even think about doing anything stupid. If anything happens, every hostage we have gathered in the castle will be executed. One of the hostages' fathers said, Your Grace, please save our child. The other taunted, so, what will you do, Duke? I heard you are such a ruthless Duke that you would not even hesitate to sacrifice children. Is that true? The Duke stated, yes, that is right. If you think I will back down just because you are holding kids hostage, then you have underestimated me. A few minutes earlier, the commander asked, to think there would be a fool dumb enough to pick a fight with His Grace. His demand is the ducal family's magic stone. He can't possibly be unaware of the ducal family's nasty reputation. Taking a child hostage like this, are you trying to make the rumors a reality? The Duke said, you are as talkative as ever. I have already got a good idea who the mastermind is. The commander asked, as expected of you, what is the plan? I can kill them all if you give the word. The next moment, the commander spoke, same old insane magic power. Looks like there is nothing for us to do. The idiots were shouting, it's not just the power, no normal human could ever control it like that, he is a real monster. The Duke told him, subdue them, I have left the senior members alive. The commander replied, understood, all right, men, let's go. After that, the child was crying, Papa, I was so scared. The Duke was smiling. The Duke asked, are you injured? The person replied, no, thank you, Your Grace. The Duke asked, where were you abducted? Suddenly, a knight came and told him something. After some time, the commander spoke, this one is the leader. The Duke asked, how much do you know? The idiot asked, what are you talking about? The Duke asked again, I am asking if you knew who that child was when you took him hostage. He is a person of status. If I had failed and he had died, your life alone would not have been enough to make up for it. The idiot replied, please wait, I was just following orders. A knight came and told him, Your Grace, we searched the fort and found oil and fire-starting devices. It looks like they planned to burn the whole fort down in the end. The idiot spoke, wait a minute, I don't know anything about that, I will talk. I will tell you everything about my client. The Duke stated, you had better hope you have information I don't already know. After that, the commander asked, how did you know, in the end, who was the mastermind? The Duke replied, I can recognize the presence of his magic. He was abducted in the Nocturnal County, in other words, that woman's family home. Next scene. Clarice thought, it seems my family's unique magic possesses the power of purification, the power to exorcise dark magic, like malice and curses. If my magic is working, that must mean Lord Theo is under some kind of curse. The aide said, the manor is coming into view. After some time, Clarice spoke, Lord Eric, Lord Theo. Theo said, Mama. Eric commented, looks like you were safe. Clarice replied, yes, thanks to Lord Eric. The aide asked, Lord, isn't there something you should say first? Eric spoke, welcome home. Clarice replied, I am back. Eric said, actually, I have something very important to tell you about Theo. On the other hand, the Count said, damn that mercenary trash. The Countess asked, what will you do? At this rate, we won't get the magic stone back. The Count stated, it is fine, I still have a plan. Now, back at the Duke's palace, Eric spoke, now look at this. Clarice thought, wow, Lord Theo is standing, that is amazing. Lord Theo, you are so magnificent. Eric told her, and that is not all he can do. He can do this too, and this too. Clarice said, amazing. Lord Theo, what balance? Eric continued, we practiced while waiting for everyone to come home. Clarice replied, yes, it is truly incredible. She thought, children grow up so fast. Then she said, we will have to make sure the Duke sees this. Speaking of which, where is His Grace? The aide replied, His Grace is on a small expedition. It seems he will be gone for a while. Clarice spoke, it is a shame, but let's have him watch when he gets back. Eric asked, do you think he will be happy? Clarice replied, of course he will. What kind of parent would not be? Well, I will be sure to write it down in the report. I know, since he can stand now, why don't we have his first shoes made? The aide replied, that is a wonderful idea, but we can't very well summon a shoemaker while His Grace is away. Clarice spoke, you are right, we can't just invite someone without permission, then why don't we go buy them ourselves? After some time, Clarice thought, I have spent all my time at the manor, so this is my first time looking around like this. Eric asked, what is wrong? Clarice replied, I was just thinking it would have been nice if Lord Theo could have come too. His nanny is watching him closely, but... Eric commented, you are going to be with Theo all the time starting tomorrow anyway, so for now, why don't you just think about me? Clarice was shocked. Eric continued, I will show you around. After that, the shoemaker told them, we will contact you when they are ready. Clarice spoke, and this is for you, Lord, you can use it when you play with Lord Theo in the garden. Eric asked, why? Clarice replied, this is from me to show my gratitude, you were a huge help to me. Eric commented, if that is the case, I guess I can accept it. Then they enjoyed themselves, and after some time Clarice thought, what a nice town. The ducal family is surrounded by scary rumors, but seeing the townspeople, I can tell they are not true. The aide spoke, it seems His Grace has returned, we should go see too. The Duke arrived with a child. Clarice thought, that child. He has the same color eyes as the Duke. People were chatting, that kid with the Duke, that is not Lord Eric. Could it be the Duke's child? His Grace is unmarried, that would make him an illegitimate child. now that would be big news. Both of them were shocked, then they looked at him. The aide replied, I don't know either, who in the world is that child? Next scene, Maria welcomed them. Clarice replied, thank you. By the way, about his grace, suddenly, the Duke came and asked, where have you been? Clarice replied, we went to buy Lord Theo's first shoes, look, just like this, I can send them now. Clarice thought, is he angry? The Duke spoke, I see. Well done. Clarice thought, he seems happy. The Duke asked, that magic stone? Eric replied, I gave it to her. Clarice is already an indispensable part of our lives, at least to me. The Duke said, is that so? I heard the details from the aide. You did well too. Clarice thought, thank goodness, I hope my relationship with the Duke continues to improve. The Duke told her, there is someone I want you to meet, get ready and come out at once. Clarice thought, someone he wants us to meet, don't tell me. After some time, the Duke spoke, due to certain circumstances, he will be staying in the ducal territory for a while, go on and greet him. William said, this is the first time we have met face to face, isn't it? A pleasure to meet you. I am William. Clarice thought, it really is the boy from before, up close, he looks even more like Duke Albert. Eric also introduced himself. The Duke told him, William just arrived, first, you show him around the manor. After some time, Clarice asked, Your Grace, is he perhaps? The Duke replied, yes, he is your half-brother, Eric. Both of them thought, brother. The Duke continued, I was never formally married to his mother, while he is related to me by blood, his position is complicated. Do not become too familiar with him, especially you, Eric. Since you are the heir to this house, do you understand what that means? Eric replied, yes, Your Grace. The Duke said, now, regarding the details of the House of Nocturnal's unique magic, are you listening? Clarice replied, yes, my apologies, regarding that matter, please allow me to provide a written report later. Next scene, Clarice thought, I can't believe he really had a secret child, the Duke, of all people. It is not unusual for nobles to have illegitimate children, but still, then she said, Lord, would you like to go for a little walk? After that, in the garden, Clarice thought, in the end, my interaction with Lord William has been limited to a simple greeting. Honestly, the topic is so sensitive, I don't know what to say. Eric asked, when you got a stepsister, how did you feel? Sorry, I heard you were originally cousins. Clarice replied, it is fine. Lord William is your brother too. After all, at first, I was a little happy, but once I realized we could not get along, I think I felt much lonelier than when I was by myself. What do you want to do about Lord William? They did not realize Theo was going before the cat. William was there. William asked, so you must be Theo, the Duke's second son, right? So you are looking for that cat. The cat was screaming. William spoke, that is not how you do it, be more gentle, just like this. Yes, good boy, hey, look at this. Theo started laughing. William spoke, so cute, surely, you must be cherished by people. I was accompanying this special commissioner for a domestic inspection, but I got caught by some bad people. Thanks to the Duke taking me in, my escort should be back soon. I probably won't be here long, but while I am. Suddenly Clarice and Eric came. They spoke, thank goodness, you are safe. William told her, you are quite late, taking your eyes off a baby. Seems like the Duke's household has a wet nurse quality problem, does not eat. Eric replied, I am the one who lost sight of him. She is not the one at fault. William continued, so you were saying, even if Theo had been kidnapped by bad people, it would not be her fault. Eric spoke, that is right. Clarice emphasized, no matter the reason, I am the one who lost sight of him. William told them, how sweet, but not a bad trial to have. Better than someone who only flatters or deceives. That being said, let's be friends. What, you don't want to be friends? Then would you want to be friends with Dick, the future Duke, instead? Clarice thought, William and Dick, I feel like I have heard those names somewhere. Both of them thought, wait, Clarice asked, could it be you or Prince William, the first Prince of Ojagar? After that, the prince asked, me. The Duke's secret love child, that is hilarious. Clarice replied, forgive me, she thought, I thought I would never see him in person, so I did not realize, but the Duke's family and the royal family are close kin, of course, he resembles the Duke. The prince spoke, being Eric's older brother could be fun too, but I am Dick's older brother, and that is never going to change. Well then, now that we have introduced ourselves, let's play. I want to move around a bit today, so let's play tag. You two are it, come get me. Clarice thought, Prince William and Prince Dick are half-brothers. I heard the royal palace is divided over who will be the heir. Right now, the court is split between the two brothers, fighting over the throne, but the Duke told Eric not to get too friendly with him. On the other hand, Eric thought, so close, then he slipped away again. How many times now? The prince asked, that is it. I thought allying with the Duke's house would be a great asset, but if this is the next Duke, I might be wrong. Eric replied, it is true I may not be the ideal heir to a warrior's house, but please don't judge the entire Duke's house just because of me. The prince thought, I can easily dodge something like this. But the next moment, Theo tagged him. The prince thought, very well, you got me. Eric spoke, what we lack, we make up for as brothers, that is what my stepfather taught me. The prince replied, so the Duke is that kind of man, okay, now let's play. The Duke was watching them, then he said, looks like we will need to make a move. The commander replied, as you wish. Next scene. The prince spoke, forgive me, I only said those mean things to see how you would react. Eric replied, my stepfather always tells me to sharpen my eyes for people too. The prince asked, so do you understand? Let's just forget what happened earlier. Will you be my friend officially this time? Eric replied, I will pass. The prince asked, why? Eric told him, as the next Duke, I can't be friends with the first prince without the current Duke's permission. The prince spoke, my bad, I should not have brought up our positions, I am sorry. Let's be friends, just as equals. Eric told him, Your Highness is the next tagger. The prince replied, wait up, both of you. The Duke came and asked, I told you not to get too close to him, didn't I? Clarice asked, do you intend to oppose Prince William, Your Highness? The Duke replied, the Duke's house remains neutral, we won't take sides. Clarice asked, did Lord Eric have any say in that decision? Then she remembered when she asked, what do you want to do about Prince William? Eric replied, I want to get to know him better, it is wrong to say you like or dislike someone you don't know well. Clarice stated, I want to respect Lord Eric's wishes, you don't need to worry about it too much, after all. Lord Eric is fully aware of his role as the heir. The Duke replied, I see. Clarice thought, so it did not work after all, but it is not like this doesn't concern Lord Eric too. After that, the prince asked the Duke, is there a problem? The Duke replied, I would like to speak with you, come this way. After that, the Duke told him, here's the report on the kidnapping incident, your testimony may be necessary to bring the mastermind to justice. The prince asked, so it really was the second prince's faction after all, their aim was my life, and the Duke's house. The Duke commented, yes, I sent word to your guardian, the Duke of Baritone, as for the royal family, I have done exactly as you requested. The prince spoke, thank you for your discretion, I am sorry to have dragged the Duke's house into the royal succession conflict. The Duke replied, enough, even if there are ties between our houses, you are the first prince of Ojagar, don't bow your head so. The prince replied, yes, sir, thank you. Eric said, I can't hear anything. Clarice told him, Lord Eric, eavesdropping is a little. Suddenly the door was opened and both of them fell onto the prince. The Duke stated, you too, both of them ran away while saying, we are so sorry. After that, the prince asked, what are you all doing here? Don't tell me you were waiting for me. Eric replied, no, Theo was looking for you, that's all. Clarice spoke, since I went against His Highness's order, I was worried you might scold Lord William over some things. The prince commented, it seems the Duke has officially recognized me as the first prince. That alone makes coming here worth it. Unfortunately, whether or not Eric and I become friends depends on what happens next. Eric asked, is it because you are the child of a concubine, that the second prince's faction won't acknowledge you? The prince replied, well, the queen probably dislikes me. Eric asked, do you really want to be king, even if it means fighting your own brother? The prince told him, well, I guess we will see, I am the king's progeny after all. I just want to fulfill my duty for the good of this country, even if it is against my brother. After some time, Clarice asked, Lord, do you want to take a nap too? Eric replied, I was just thinking, if someday Theo said he wanted to become Duke, what would I do? Clarice thought, if Lord Theo truly wished for it, Lord Eric would probably step aside, but that would mean throwing away all his years of effort and dedication. If that ever happens, could I still support him? An aide came and told her, "This is a gift from His Highness. Prince William would like you to accompany him to a certain party, for his sake, as His Highness's partner." Clarice asked, "Me, as his partner?" Like this video, hit the like button, and subscribe for more videos.